recording most stuff. Oh, that's Thomas. I'm being recorded. Cool.
Wow.
I like it. I actually prefer all this stuff to Zoom because, well, I don't know. I just have like Zoom phobia. I have anxiety. I've got major Zoom anxiety just because of all that pandemic stuff and all those group chats with family and just, I just can't. I can't do it. Okay, I really built it up in my head and I just can't handle Zoom at all. I just, one-on-one is okay, but as soon as there's a group of people on a screen, I just hate it. And all those parties and stuff you're supposed to go to, and oh god, I couldn't do it. So this is not Zoom, you know what I mean? It doesn't look the same, so I'm relaxed now. That's good. And it's all integrated into our Google Workspace.
Yes. Our first official broken cage meeting.
Man. Look, it says here, like, it says, that whiteboard, open a jam. Do you want to have a whiteboard?
Let's have a go.
Start a new whiteboard. Let's see. It says creating jam. Some people need access to the file. Ava at Gmail, Ava at Broken Cage.
Just Broken Cage, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you're... Anyway, that's fine. I'll just say...
Yeah, because I invited my other Gmail just for myself as a reminder.
Gotcha. Oh, well, that's going to now go to that as well. Yeah, never mind. And sharing to ava@gmail.com who's not in the workspace. Oh, that's all right. Whatever. Well, let's just see what happens.
Okay, I've got the link.
Okay, open up a tab for you in Chrome.
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty cool. So we get a whiteboard. You get a pen. Oh, right. Quite hard to draw on, but anyway. Right. Oh, text. Where did you get that from?
There's it on the left text box.
Text box. Sticky note.
Can you move the text? Yeah, you can move it.
Yeah. The sticky. Woo-hoo. Okay, so that's pretty cool, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, now we've got no excuse. So I spent a bit of time today, and this is the first time I've done any work since COVID.
Totally.
Yeah, I was I've set up the profiles and stuff, and there's all kind of admin options and stuff. And anyway, it got a bit confusing, but basically it does look good, and it is possible. You should be able to sync your calendar. You can just add this calendar to your calendar, so you don't need to send everything through ava@gmail.
I see.
You should be able to just, when you are signed in as ava@gmail, just your normal, Google or whatever, you should be able to go to the calendar, and then you should be able to
sync it somehow. Sync. I see.
Something you can work out. So, like, that's just an even better way of doing it rather than sending it to post. But anyway.
Right. Yeah, got it.
And yeah, there's lots of that can be done. I think I am the admin because I set it up. So there's all kinds of admin things I can do. It's all really complicated, and we probably don't need most of it. But as our organization grows,
yes.
Yeah, you can be an admin, and then you can be a super admin, and that. There's all, anyway, so you can do all the stuff with like permissions for things, and like the admin can track like even down to email conversations and all kinds of stuff, but you can turn it off if you want to, and blah blah blah. But we'll just see how we go, eh?
Yes, indeed.
And right, let's get rid of this crap, if you don't mind. Okay. Oh, I can edit your one. That's quite funny. Okay. I've got a rubber. Do you want to help me rub this out?
All right, let's
Can you take a rubber and just see if you can? Oh, very good. You see, that's why I'm working with you, man. I didn't even think of that. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, I got you. Yay. That's cool. And then I suppose if you know what a Mac, how so if I drag that tab over, will that work? And then, oops, hold on, what do you do? Go, oh, I've just crashed it, all right? I go here and you hold down on the minimize button, don't you? You should be able to split the screen, shouldn't you? All right. Yeah. Oh, it's because it's on full screen, so you do that first. Well, that wasn't as fast as I thought. Yeah, split screen, right?
More on the Mac. Which version you have on the Mac?
Yeah. Have you got a split screen going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, nice one. So you can see the whiteboard and we can teach a lot.
Yeah.
Sweet. I love my Mac. Speaking of which, I just bought a new computer.
Nice.
Brand new. I've never bought a brand new computer before.
Mac, PC, Mac.
I bought the new Mac Studio. Have you seen it?
Is it like a monitor or like a?
No, it's like the new Mac Mini. It just came out last week.
Right.
Mac Studio. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Got the new M1 Max, Apple Silicon in it and all this stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Really, man. Yeah. It was like over $2,000. Yeah. It was like $2,500 or something. But because I'm running this old Intel Mac from 2015. And you know what it's like. It just can't run all the software instruments and effects plugins and all that stuff now. It just slows down and slows down. And I've been spending money here and there. I bought like external hard drives and all sorts of stuff, £200, blah, blah, blah. And I realized like moving here, I had a bit of money as well from like when my mum died and stuff. Like, if I'm going to do this work, I need the shit hot computer. Like, there's no point messing around, and for us now, living in Glasgow is not quite as expensive, so I want to spend my money and make good use of it.
Yeah,
so
I agree. And like we actually talked about it yesterday as well. Like,
yeah,
upgrading and so yeah,
I mean, this new Mac Studio, it starts at £2,000, and I upgraded the memory, 64 gig of memory, and I put a terabyte hard drive, so it cost a little bit more, but it's got M1 Max and blah blah blah. So it should be able to do anything I throw at it for like the next 10 years, But that's a lot of money. But the other one is the Mac Mini. That is like £700, and it might not be quite. It might not last you 10 years or whatever. Like it might not be quite as super duper, but like at the same time, it's probably going to do most stuff you need.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of like Thunderbolt 4 and all the latest like internet stuff, 4K streaming, and it'll do all that stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. You don't necessarily have to spend $2,000. You might spend 700 or 800 and
yeah. Because I think what we've learned with our computers and Macs, it's like, have your software for that particular Mac. So if you buy software and then stick to that version for that Mac for that year. Okay, you can upgrade gradually, but the more you go into the future, keep that version of that software. Yeah, that version of that software is compatible for the computer that you have right now.
Yeah. Totally.
So that's what we've learned. Like, so the Mac that we have right now has the software that came out around that period.
You mean like the operating system?
Operating system, plugins, DAW.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sure. I know. I mean, like, I got this second-hand MacBook, and I'm still running Mojave or whatever on it because there's no way I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna put like Catalina and all the rest of it on there.
No.
Yeah.
No, because it can't handle it.
Yeah. And I think with this new one, I mean, it's brand new, so I'll probably be able to put like the next 1 or 2 OS updates.
Yeah.
But I won't go far beyond that. Totally, man. Totally. I get what you're saying. I think that's very true. Yeah. Anyway, so right, I was thinking, so we can do it here. So I think that's one thing we need to think about, because I think one way or another, as an aim, there's loads of things to talk about, isn't there? But one of the things I think we should aim for is that a Broken Cage should be able to get you a new computer at some point. Like, if we start making profit from what we're doing, we could get you using something that's a bit faster so that all of our workflow is faster, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, for now, you've got access to Bettina's computer. I just meant more from the point of view of, like, if you're music making and then sharing files, and then I bounce you a file and then you want to send something back, it's going to really slow you down. However, you can do that for now, like, no problem. You just make a cup of tea and you move a hard drive across and yada yada. But I think one of the aims should be over time that you get a super duper fast computer too, and so we can just be like bam, 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 bam. You know, because I think that's really the nature of the business. Like, it's the nature of Web 3, it's the nature of Web 2. All this stuff now is like productivity. In order to create a business, you have to be able to, you know, and if you have things in your workflow that are slowing you down, then it gets harder and harder to have a day job, and also, you know what I mean. So that's just, I just wanted to throw that out there, but I think that's.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think so. Yeah. Because this week I've been working on a song, and the computer crashes, and
That's the thing. You see, that's why I did it. I mean, I got the super duper new computer because it's audio that I'm working with, and particularly with plugins and software instruments. I just got to the point with my Bond theme. I was playing it to you, and I'm like, well, actually, that has slowed me down. It's probably taken twice the time because I can't run more than about 3 or 4 instruments.
Yeah,
like these amazing new, because I get these new Spitfire libraries and stuff, and then I can't run it, and I have to down, do a little bit of single day, and then advance it, and so that's what I'm saying. I think if we manage our business model, we need to get to the point where we can do proper music production at speed and just throw each other ideas and film editing, all that, you know, because I mean, we need to come on to the proper agenda. I was going to try and write an agenda before we started.
I've created a document. Boom.
Brilliant. I love you, man. Okay, where's that? Okay. What's this?
I send you a link in the chat.
Yeah, here we go. Awesome. Now, I need access.
Oh, how do I do that?
Now, where did you share it from?
From the, so I've saved it in our Broken Cage. So I need to add you on.
Yeah.
So, boom.
I think if you go to the actual file within our workspace.
Yeah, done it. done it.
And then you've given me access there, have you?
Yeah, try now.
Hold on, I'm just going to open it again. Let's see. Ah, brilliant. Oh, nice, man. That's awesome.
So can you add stuff now directly?
Should be able to.
Yeah.
To keep view history on. To keep your view history private, upload your. Oh, anyway, there's all kinds of privacy stuff popping up, but who cares about that for now? If I just chuck this over here. Really? So let me see. Last meeting follow-up. Is that it on you?
I can see it, yeah. Great.
This is pretty cool, actually. I've got to say, this is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, it beats Dropbox, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Brilliant. Okay, well, why didn't you take us through the agenda? Over to you, man.
Well, yeah, so agenda. So I've got setting up Asana. I found an article, I haven't read it yet, how to learn how to set up templates. I think that's sort of an important thing.
Okay, so we got to the point where we were like saving templates and stuff, but there's more to it than that, is there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what I think we should do then is why don't we just action that straight away? So action items here, can I just put ET to read blog article?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks, you can come back and tell me what you learned. If you learn it sooner than that, like if you do it tomorrow, just send me a message. Find whatever the best way is to send a message, or actually we need to come to that, but like send me a message in any form and just say, oh yeah, I learned these 3 things, or just say, Chris, you need to read this too. Like I've read it and I'd like you to read it so we both understand, you know. So that's up to you. You'll get that sorted.
Cool.
What's next?
Next, for-bar loop. So my question was, or I was thinking like, the for-bar loops, and the idea was like, my thought was what image. So we're creating an image, but I've also saw a thing recently, something called Reels, and a lot of video people are posting their videos without music, with the idea of you can collaborate with musicians. So that's what, and then with Reel, I think you can press collaborate, and then it splits the screen. So it shows the video, and then you can have your Reel next to it. And that's, yeah.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool.
Because I was thinking like how, like the new thing for social media is like, what can you add? And I think collaboration is the added value, because then you work with someone else. Yeah, that's okay.
Very good. Well, that's brilliant. So one of the things that brings up in my mind is that I think me and you need to decide on roles. So notes. I'm just going to put in the notes here. Don't know why I'm putting it there. I should just explain what I mean. So basically, we're both co-founders, right? So I am your co-founder, you are my co-founder. So we both founded Broken Cage. And so that's one role. So we are both co-founders. That is that goes without saying, because we decided to do this together 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now we're doing it. So we founded Broken Cage. now we're working out what Broken Cage is, which is pretty cool. I like that. That's basically how you do business these days. We're not the only ones. It's like, we got a thing. Now what is it? And what we think we need is roles, and like there's the more traditional roles that we talked about before, like Ava might be in charge of sales, and I might be in charge of, I don't know, like for example, so far I think I am already, let me do it like this. I think I'm already admin, because I think that's automatic because I set it up. So I'm happy to be the admin of the Google Workspace. So I'll say Google Workspace and basically network administrator. And what I mean by that is like I'll manage the website, the email addresses, the Google Workspace, the settings, the blah, 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 blah. I'll do all of that because I am already the admin because I set it up. And also the web hosting is coming through my deal and blah, blah, blah. So I'll deal with like SiteGround and Google Workspace and that kind of stuff. I'm actually also happy to do like, maybe that's part of the same role, which is Google Workspace, network, and social media. I don't mind being the social media admin. Like, I don't mind setting up the accounts and all that kind of stuff. I've done loads of that in the last couple of years, and I'm quite happy to do it. You're quite good with that too, because you've always done those things. But I'm happy to do the nuts and bolts behind the scenes on that stuff.
Yeah.
And then what I'm thinking is,
we can split it. We can say you do this one, we can do that one. Depends. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. But for now, I'll take the lead on actually organizing that.
Yeah.
So I'll say, oh, well, I'm going to do Instagram and blah, 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 Twitter, and you do whatever.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of it is when it comes to IG, like I actually hate Facebook now. And I kind of hate IG now as well, because I've got this thing that I've always been like this. I've got social anxiety in general. And it's not that bad, but when I'm stressed, it gets worse. And then that feeds into like social media and online anxiety. Like certain things about those places, I just don't like it. It makes me go, ah. So I'm totally happy to do as much as is needed for our business. But I think probably you're better with a more positive attitude towards, like, for example, I think you should be in charge of IG content. Like, the reasons being, well, like, take a lead on it, so you're in charge, but, you know, well, let's see, we do everything together. But, like, let's say for now, Instagram content and ideas, just because I think you're on there more than I am. I just avoid it. So I've heard about Reels and all this stuff, but I've heard about it because I've taken training and stuff on it. But I don't actually sit there and do it because I just. So why don't you take a lead on that? Like that idea about doing collabs on Reels, brilliant. Let's pursue that, and you can come up with those ideas. That's great. Now there's lots more roles, but I think we should come back to this and decide in a minute. So let's just.
It will definitely filter out once we get cracking. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically, I think you're more in charge of like networking, like in the real sense, and you know, just meeting people, all that kind of stuff. It's basically called networking and things, because I think you've got a really good way with that. We were talking about it, like that book you read about. You're really into all of that. You're very good at it. I'd also like to be good at that, but I think it's in terms of like, it's almost like another role I think of you as is that people, they have these ideas. Like, I think you should be in charge of growth. I think the idea that Broken Cage needs to keep going and meeting people, and you're in London as well. I think you're good at that. anyway, we can come back to that. So the
Sounds good so
4-bar
far.
loops here, that sounds great. But actually, this is the key thing here, isn't it? NFTs. Because, so I was listening to a podcast, what's it called? I'll just put it in a note for now. It's called, it's got a terrible name. It's like called, something like this. You can find it on Spotify. I don't know if you've heard it. NFTs, crypto, and the metaverse, or something, for musicians.
Yeah.
You read that? Heard that?
I've been it's definitely on my radar, definitely.
That's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's sort of, I think everyone is sort of figuring out this space, how it's gonna.
Yeah.
So
this is the actual name of the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, is it actually called that?
It's called that. It's called that.
Okay, I see.
No, they're like, oh, it's a terrible name. We need to get a new name. But they're like,
it's clear what it is. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like Broken Cage. They're already doing it, and they're just learning on the job. But it is actually.
You have a link.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Spotify. So I don't know. Can I link straight to Spotify? Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Spotify.
I can see it there.
I think you could share.
Yeah, you can. Let me just see. My homepage is just not showing it. Let me just find it again. Here. And then share. Copy show link. There you go. Yeah. That's the link. Now, the reason I mentioned it is because they were talking about a lot of things in there, and I thought it was worth going into that just now about so I'm starting to understand Web3, right? As opposed to Web2. So that's where we're at, isn't it? We're trying to do a Web3 thing, and crypto and NFTs are at the heart of that, metaverse, all this stuff. Yeah. And I'm just trying to learn about what these terms mean and what that means for us. Like, what seems really good about it for me is that this space, as the Americans would say, is a real opportunity for. It's a real opportunity right now because it's brand new. That if me and you can get into it with Broken Cage, that we could really enjoy the boom period, the honeymoon period, before, in 5 years it will inevitably, get sewn up again by the big companies and stuff. I mean, it always happens. So we're right at the start of it, and that's great because the Web2 thing with social media and everything that I've been trying to do, it just, for me personally, I just kind of hate it. It's partly because I have this social anxiety about social media, and also because Facebook and everything have turned it into a complete treadmill, where you have to just be on the hamster wheel and just make content, and then it's like eventually, after giving people so much content, you maybe say, oh, do you want to buy a t-shirt? It's like the business model is so crap, and like you put so much work in and there's so little reward that comes out at the end with Web2, with social media and marketing and stuff. And so that's where I've come from the last couple of years, or last year, of learning loads about the digital marketing space within like Web 2.0. And to me, it's just so much work, and in the end, the reward is so little. And I know that some people make it work, but I just like, I was ready just to sort of give up and try something else. And then it's like, oh, the other thing to try is right there in front of us. And that's the difference with NFTs. And so I suppose that what I'm blabbing on about, things that I'd like to talk about within that. So we're basically here, discuss learning how to set them up, new ideas and thoughts. What have I got set up? So, I mean, for a start, I don't have a wallet or anything like that. I don't know if you do.
Yeah. I have something. I have several wallets. I've been exploring them. So, like the first time I bought it was on. I can't even remember where I bought it. But then eventually I buy on something called Coinbase. So
I've heard of it.
first, that's the first point, the easiest way you can buy cryptos.
Yeah.
And then I'll transfer it, and then I'll I don't know my notes.
Yeah.
And then I'll transfer the coins in a wallet.
Yeah.
Into a wallet, and it's an extension on Google Chrome.
Okay. Yeah.
Google Chrome.
Yeah.
Called MetaMask.
Yeah, I've actually heard all of these words in the last little while. Yeah.
So
I've heard of Coinbase and I've heard of
Yeah.
MetaMask. Yeah, you tell me how it works. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's quite straightforward. So it's like it's an extension, and then you have it on your Google Chrome, and then the next thing you do is setting it up. It's something called, they use I can't remember the name, but it's called key phrases.
Yeah, a key phrase. I think it is something like it.
And that's sort of yours. It's like 25 words that is linked to your wallet. That is quite unique because these 25 words is sort of that's the encryption of your address, basically. That's your private key. So you can write those words, or you can even memorize those words. That's the brilliant thing of that. It's like, so you can have all your cryptos in this wallet. You can even delete this wallet, but if you have those keywords memorized, you can. That's the brilliant thing of it.
That's cool. Because the keywords that you create are
your password, basically your password.
But it's actually coded into the blockchain, isn't it? So it's like, because if you lose the wallet or whatever, as soon as you remember the words, you say, my wallet is these words, it'll be in the blockchain forever. So as long as you remember the words, you can go and find it. I mean, this is the genius of blockchain. Once you start getting your head around what it really is, it's such a simple, in a way, I mean, I'm not saying it's implement, but in a way, it's a simple idea, blockchain. Once you get your head around it, that is absolute genius, because the idea, as far as I understand it, is that, everything that happens within the blockchain is in the ledger, forever. So on day one, it's like, you got the blockchain, and then day two, gave some coins to Chris, and then Chris sold them, and then and it's just all that data is there forever. So your 25 words will always be in the blockchain.
Yes.
You can always access it.
Yeah, and that's sort of the basics of it. And then you also have.
Sorry, just on that. So with the 25 words, obviously, don't tell me your words, of course. But like, is the idea that you make up like a
it automates those 25 words. You can't make that up. So that's sort of like also like worrying bit. So that's the soft. I call it soft wallet.
Yeah.
And then you have a hardware wallet.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't got that yet, but I'm going to eventually. It's called Ledger, It's like basically you save all your cryptos onto this sort of USB stick thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's also
Why would you want to do that? What's the advantage of a hardware wallet?
um, it's from what yeah, it's weird because you can yeah, I don't understand.
Just in case you forget your 25-word key phrase?
No, so from what I'm getting it's sort of you say to the blockchain, I'm saving it onto this hardware wallet. And so that means the blockchain says your coins are now offline.
Ah. Hey,
So unless you plug in your hardware wallet, no one can access it. Yeah.
Like extra security somehow.
Yeah. So you're taking your coins into the real world, basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
so then the other question is, with the hardware wallet, are you able to then take it and convert it to fiat currency? You know, Great British pounds.
so if you want to create it to fiat, then you need to connect it and then convert it. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another thing that you do online, of course. You go and you find a site that will do the conversion for you.
Well, so another thing I've seen is you can have I set it up? So basically, is you can have debit cards that has. So you get the debit card and you just transfer the coins into that debit card, and then you use that debit card. Yeah.
So you can just stroll around spending ETH and go down and buy a pint of milk with ETH.
Yeah. And it converts it to your currency.
Like if you go to France or something. It just converts it. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's cool, man. So how long ago did you do that? Like, how long have you had access to like Coinbase, and when did you set everything up?
Good question. I think so. That's the crazy part. So, I started looking at 2-3 years ago, but
Yeah.
I remember. That's the crazy part. I remember Fabio and Emily, like back in the warehouse. But what did they do? They bought all the dodgy stuff with it. It's like, oh my God. Can you imagine? Like that was 2000 when?
Yeah. 2012 or something?
Yeah.
You know, that's when I first heard about it. I know.
Yeah, and they spent shitloads on like and buying. Yeah.
But if they just kept it, they would have like millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because, yeah, like one Bitcoin was like 20 quid or something.
Yeah.
And now it's like.
Yeah. And like that blew my mind when I realized, like, wait a minute. Yeah. I remember like when I was sort of going through it, like where you can buy it, and then I remember like, wait a minute, they did it back in 2012.
That's 10 years, man. Can you imagine? 10 years, it's something like this. Like, yeah. So I remember that because that was when I moved back to Edinburgh. I then was Googling Bitcoin, and I was just following the price and stuff, and I was just watching it, and I never did anything about it because I just didn't. I don't know. I never thought. I just was interested, but I didn't buy any or go any further. I just used to watch the graph and read articles, and I was just watching it from the outside. And I think I had this idea in my head that I needed to buy £100 worth of Bitcoin. No idea where I got that, but just an idea. Like, and I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I won't. I didn't think, you know what I mean? I just had this idea and I never did it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But anyway, never mind. I mean, that's the thing. Never mind. But but the reason I was watching Bitcoin in 2014 was because of Fabio and Emily, like that's where I first heard about, this decentralized currency. And then it started to get more interesting with the whole, when I started to realize what the blockchain really was and what it really meant. And then I was less interested. It became a bit boring for a while because it's just like, of course, all the bankers and investors getting on board, and that's inevitable. That's fine. That's up to them. But I'm not so interested in that. And I just thought, oh, I don't know. And then NFTs a year ago, actually. But again, when I first heard it, I just was like not ready. And I just was on the back of my mind somewhere. But then since we were talking, I've started listening to this podcast and starting to understand the power of what the NFT itself is and what it can do.
Yeah.
And so the way I'm starting to understand it is like, essentially your NFT is like currency. So it's a version of it will become currency in itself.
Yeah.
So it's like a Bitcoin or whatever, whatever. Let's say Bitcoin as the obvious example, but it's like that, but with all the added bonuses of the artwork itself and the social currency that gives you. But then, of course, now it's evolved to the point of being all about the actual utility of what is built into that NFT in terms of what you can do with it when you own one. And then it's come to the point of being about the community that's around that NFT, what it represents, and what voting rights it gives you in the organization, and what privileges you have. And then, of course, the whole idea of intellectual property and what you can do with it. The fact that you're actually being granted the right temporarily to use that artwork and go out and monetize it, and do sort of like a royalty split from the proceeds or whatever, and then right down to the level of how that's all built into smart contracts, and the idea with the smart contracts just being genius what you can actually put in there, and then even just on the financial side, the smart contract will fulfill in the most basic sense, obviously, when you resell the NFT, someone buys it, you get a certain amount of money, but when they sell it, you take a little split. And not only that, the smart contract itself can also stipulate what your rights are in terms of copyright and publishing and what you can do with your NFT. And then it starts to get back to things that I was thinking about a lot anyway, of like sort of social media and Web 2, which is like, now you have to build a community, and that becomes a similar thing. But like, so for example, with the CFX project, anyone who holds one of the NFTs, when I mint my first drop of NFTs, anyone who owns one will come to my gigs forever for free,
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then anyone who owns my a certain NFT, maybe a 1 of 1, or there's only 10 special VIP ones or whatever, and they, let's say there's a 1 of 1, and that person who owns that NFT can come around my house and record a song with me. And then anyone who owns an NFT, not only can they come to the gig, but they come and hang out backstage afterwards, and so then I was thinking about if I was to do a drop of NFTs, which obviously you have to build up towards that and build community around it and, market and get interest and all the rest of it. But if I was to do that for my project through Broken Cage, so if you hold the NFT, when the booklet comes out, which is like my physical music product, which has all the liner notes and photographs and images and lyrics and everything, beautiful 20-page, hardback book thing.
Yeah.
When that comes out, if you own the NFT, I'll post it to you.
Yeah.
Like you get the book, of course.
So
even though the book may go on sale in general public, if you have the NFT at the time, I send you the book. You can come to the gigs. You can meet in the green room afterwards. If you hold a certain one of those NFTs, why don't we write a song together? Come round my house in Glasgow if you can, or we'll do it on Zoom. You know, and then there's the idea of breaking your song down into stems. Why don't you remix my song? Anyone who has the NFT can go and license it, go and put it on TV, do whatever they want with the song. And then it becomes about what do they then get voting rights within the organization of Broken Cage, and they get to steer what Broken Cage actually becomes. And so, yeah, some of the things that I was reading, I'll put it down here, is, you know, like smart contracts is what I'm talking about. IP rights with in terms of copyright, publishing, etc. And then it's like utility. So I'll just put as above because you've written some of those ideas down. Anyone can access it, can go to gigs, backstage access, record a song together, or maybe I should say like write a song together or whatever. And all of these things that we put in, that's like the artistic side. The artist side, it's like, okay, the CFX artist brand, I'd like to create those kind of experiences for people that would, in the old days, you'd call them fans, you know, or customers, but people who are just like, oh, I really like this music, this is cool. Yeah, so I'm excited about it because it's part of this whole NFT thing. I found this guy in Glasgow that no one knows, but he's doing cool music, and I would really enjoy going to the gigs and doing these cool things. And so that's like on the artist side of like CFX, but it's still done within the umbrella of Broken Cage. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. So the CFX drop would be about that artist project, my project, but would be minted by Broken Cage.
I see. Yeah.
I think that's
because I've been following Snoop Dogg, so he has on OpenSea. He has because he's now the owner of Death Row, and so he has the Death Row Records NFT account, and he's creating all the new music as NFTs on OpenSea. He's experimenting with that, so people are buying the tracks on their Death Row Records NFT account.
So what is Death Row Records then?
So that's Death Row Records is the West Coast record label at the time that Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, they were on. And 3 years ago, Snoop Dogg became the creative director of Def Jam. And then this year he purchased back Death Row Records from investors, so he owns. So it was under like some investment company, and he now he got this money. He's like, give back my record label.
That's brilliant. So like Death Row Records is a real thing in the real world that was the label for all these guys, Dr. Dre and everybody. And then, like you described, it was sold off. Now he owns it again, but now he's using Death Row Records, you know, the name of the company, but to the mint NFTs that way, using them through their umbrella of Death Row. That's cool. So that's kind of what we're talking about, because what the thing with me is I've always got lots of ideas. Some are better than others, but I'll never be someone who just does one thing. And so this NFT idea with Broken Cage feels like it's perfect for me. And working alongside you is great, because what I've realized really is that I've always got 2 or 3 different projects, 7 or 8 different projects, 15, but I've always got more than one thing, just like you. And that I realized really that ultimately that's how I am. I'll never stop being that way. No matter how much you tell me just to do one thing, I never will my whole life. Like, I'll just be unhappy if I try to just do one thing. So what I need is to have a team of people to help me with my project. You know, that's after all this time being away in Edinburgh and working on my own on stuff and blah, 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 and doing my thing, but I didn't realize this properly, which is what I need is, I have like my main thing, which is my project, which would be like CFX. That's my new main project, but that we can do under Broken Cage and you can help me with it. And then we've got Capsize. Well, that's a collaborative thing artistically, 50-50. We work on that together.
Yeah.
But we can do it under the umbrella of Broken Cage. Like, Broken Cage is basically like the label.
Yeah.
And then we've got other things. You know, you've got your photo book. But when you mint that, and I'll help you with it, we can mint it through Broken Cage, you know. Mm-hmm. And then all the community that comes around CFX and my stuff, a certain amount of it that will be because people like my music, and I'll find those people and they'll say, I want to come to your gigs. But then at the same time, I will be able to share with them the whole Broken Cage story.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is CFX, here's a new album, here's the songs, blah, 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 I've got some gigs, here's the videos.
Definitely.
But at the same time, here's the whole story of where I've come from, and this is what the Broken Cage thing is. And so you're not only part of CFX and liking my music, but if you're interested, you also like, Broken Cage, who are these guys? What else do they do? What's going on there? And then with NFTs, not only that, but actually if you own an NFT, you're like a shareholder. You get to vote on what you actually become part of the Broken Cage community. You become part of the company almost. So like me and you will always be the founders, but these people will then be able to say, I have a CFX NFT. I'm actually quite into the Avert Taitu book thing. Yeah. Avert is actually working to his big dream is to work towards recording at Abbey Road. Maybe I'm going to buy one of his NFTs. And then when he records at Abbey Road, Avert's going to invite me into the audience, or he's going to bring me into the control room more. Oh, cool. Wait a minute. What is this whole story that Avert is talking about in his photo book? Well, actually, the photo book is the story of Capsize. It's the story of where CFX came from. It's the story of where Avon Terra came from. It's the story of... So all of these things start to feed together. And that's the brilliance of it. And this is what... Actually, really, this is what you were telling me 10 years ago. Or 15 years ago. But the difference for me, the light bulb moment for me is that I didn't understand 10 years ago how that could be possible, that me and you could do that. Because I just couldn't get my head around the old music industry and 2.0 and all that. That's a great idea, but that's not something that we're going to ever be able to manage because we're just 2 guys and we've got a day job. But with NFTs and smart contracts and all the rest of it, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Everything that Avon was talking about 10 years ago, now we can do it together. And I really want to help you do it.
For me, the same. For me, like it's the whole concept of NFT makes more sense for me than the old way of record labels. It's like this is like for me. It's like yes, this is more. It's aligned of my way of thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Something that's like, all these ideas, creative possibilities. This makes sense. This can be done. It's like a completely new business model, and it's a business model which enables really creative, collaborative work. And the cool thing is, it's right now. It's like we're at the beginning of the .com revolution. We're part of it, and that's the first time I felt that really in my life. It's like, with all these other advances in technology and stuff, I was always like looking in, going, I don't really know, maybe not. Oh, I don't want a smartphone. They look at like, who needs that? That's stupid. You know, I was always that guy, really. And then eventually you're like, oh, of course I've got one as well. But this time I'm like, no, this thing that's happening now, it could unlock the door to do all of the stuff that we were always dreaming of. You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
of course, it's still going to be a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But the difference to me looks like lots and lots of hard work in and learning and collaborating and networking, and then from that can come some kind of result that makes it worth it. Whereas before, it's like lots of hard work in, collaborating, posting on social media, making great art, and then the result, like for me, kept on being, oh, well, no one, you know. 50 people, 60 people, 100 people, you know, but it was just so hard to break through all of that noise of social media, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas with you, the possibility is there to just be like, wow, we're doing this, and there's nothing else, you know? Like,
yeah. Cool. Nice. Yeah, so I've added a few comments. So another thing that I've looked into is something called audius.co.
yeah.
And I haven't fully looked into it yet, but basically from what I understand, they want to they're building a Spotify alternative, but then on the blockchain. So everything that is streamed on this app, the artist gets paid through the blockchain. So every stream is paid within the blockchain. Your music, if your music is on the blockchain, you can assign it to this Spotify equivalent, but then it's built on the blockchain.
Yeah, and then you just point it to your wallet.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the genius.
Yeah. What I was looking for, I've searched: is there an decentralized Spotify? That's what I've searched.
I think I came across this as well. I didn't recognize the name, but I think I found the same thing at one point, or I heard about it somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe it was maybe listen to a podcast or something, and they were talking about it. So because the genius with the wallet and everything, and payments and smart contracts and all the rest of it, is that you just wake up in the morning and open your wallet and watch the money roll in. You just check your wallet and see if any more money is there. And like, of course, like I'm not expecting big things to start with and all the rest of it, but the idea that there's no middleman, and that I reckon these Audius guys, you can just put your song on there and then you give them your wallet address or whatever, you know, and then when someone plays your song, it just sends it straight there. There's no like, there's no middleman. There's not even the bank. It doesn't have to go through the bank. It doesn't have to go through the label. It doesn't have to go through Spotify. It doesn't have to go through PayPal. And so that's the great thing about the power of this thing. Like the business model you have is just to say, boom, like, I own one of the favorites NFTs. I sell it. Boom, it's straight in the wallet. There's no waiting. So that in itself looks great. What's this other one?
Yeah, so Nas, he created an NFT. It's a great example of an NFT. He posted 2 songs, and then for every owner, they get a percentage of the streaming royalties.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was like, I just missed it. Like the cheapest one was £50, and you get 0.00%, but forever of royalties. Like, and that's a great example. It's like, so you post a song, and you can get your community to buy this NFT, but then they get the income from your song. It's like, and I think that's a great example of how you can utilize the community. Yeah.
Because it flips the whole thing on its head. And it's genius that way. So if we can build up a community around Capsize, CFX, Averick 2, Avon Terra, and Chris Farnes, just to start with. Or CFX, Capsize, and then your photo book, which is an Averick 2 project.
Yeah.
And we build up the community around those things. But like you say, for example, Capsize, we build some traction, people are interested, we drop the NFT, but in the contract, you say something like that. You say, you can license the song to TV or radio or whatever you want and take a share, take your 50% of the publishing of that. And we could put it on Audius and then say, you take, 0.1 or whatever of that. And so not only are people into something cool that they enjoy listening to and consuming, and it's like, oh, this is a cool song, I like these guys, this is a cool video. But when you buy it, you can also profit from it along the way, which is just genius. So they're not just supporting you, they're benefiting financially as well as, that's mind-blowing, really, that your fans, you can make profit for your fans, and then of course that means they are incentivized to go and talk about your project. They're going to open your emails, aren't they? Because they own part of the company. Go on.
This is the wave that we're in right now. Like people want to support it, but they're not set up. Everyone needs to set it up now. These opportunities, like people who want to buy it are looking for, where can I support it? But people are not set up yet. That's the thing.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's what the NFT, the power of it does. It's like, I can support you, and along the way, I will also profit. And then this idea now, which is the buzzword about this community, that we will all be together. And that's what the Bored Ape Yacht Club thing is about, isn't it? It's like, oh, I own the ape, the little Bored Ape thing that costs £2 million or whatever. But that's baffling. Why does this stupid little ape, why does it worth so much? But it's because you're part of the club. So you own that ape, then, I don't know, Snoop Dogg owns the ape, like Leonardo DiCaprio owns the ape, I own the ape. And then, but not only that, you can then monetize the ape. People are doing clothing lines on the back of that ape, and people are doing TV shows. There's a couple of guys making a TV show with their ape, and that's fine because you have part of the brand, So that in that way, when you do related to music, you're empowering people to go out and remix and perform and license and promote and sell your music. And so I think the thing that I'm looking at in terms of the business model is like where everything I learned from the marketing and everything else that I've been doing the last couple of years, where that meets with the brand new NFT thing. What I mean by that is, at the moment, everybody's on Discord, right? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's on Discord?
So let me just put it here, actually. If you want to be in the world of NFTs, you need to be on Discord, right?
Yeah.
So do we have a Broken Cage Discord yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Because I wondered, do you think you could set up a Broken Cage Discord?
Yes. Yeah. I've got a Discord account.
Yeah.
So put that in my actions.
Yeah. Just want to, how do I get this over here again? Here we go. Oh, anyway, it wants to go there. ET to set up Broken Cage Discord.
Yeah.
Now, so what I'm hearing is everyone is on Discord and everybody is on Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to get into NFTs, there's a small amount of people, relatively speaking, lots of people, but a small amount compared to Facebook, of people who are on Twitter, doing Twitter spaces and all the rest of it. And they're on Discord as well. And those people are all really excited and looking to collaborate and looking for the next cool drops and looking for who's doing cool stuff. So in terms of marketing, you don't have to go to Instagram and talk to everybody in the world about your song. You go to Discord and Twitter and you say, hey, this is what we're doing. We're Broken Cage. This is my co-founder, Ava. We're doing the story of Broken Cat Capsize. He's got the photo book. He's selling each one as an NFT. Ava's aim is to go to Abbey Road and do recordings with all of his musician friends. If you want to be part of that, check it out. He's really cool. The other side of Broken Cage, Chris Farnes, he's got a project, CFX. He's doing a new band in Glasgow. And one of my aims for community, I want to set up a recording studio and rehearsal rooms in Glasgow, south side of Glasgow. That's my aim. So, in fact, let me just go here. So I'll say CF to set up Twitter. I'll take care of the Twitter, and you take so Broken Cage Twitter, and you do the Broken Cage Discord community thing, or server, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And now I'm talking, I'll start something in here, and this should be a title anyway. Oh, what happened? Thank you. Pleasure working with you, sir. That's cool. So yeah, okay. So this is what I'm talking about. So like, when I say business model, actually, let's just change this a moment. So aims. So so ET is in London, is a photographer. I mean, of course, you changed this, of course, but I'm just, this is kind of, you probably put this in a different order if you said it. Capturer of moments and engineer. ET aims to record at Abbey Road with a selection of favorite artists and friends. Right, and then I can say like CF is music artist, filmmaker, musician, whatever. Oh, where did that go down here? Songwriter, producer, whatever. Let's just do. Just bring this one down here for now. So on the next page, yeah. So CF aims to establish a recording studio. On the south side of Glasgow. Rehearsal rooms community project focusing on working with first generation Romanian immigrants, etc. So, like,
that's specific.
So, like, my idea though is because if people are talking about community,
yeah,
I mean, you know, maybe I'm just going to take this out for the moment. We'll just keep it simple, but that's where I'm thinking at the moment, because I've done a lot of community music work and everything, and I got really tired of doing that because it always had to come first, you know, and when you apply for funding and everything, you have to do everything that is for impoverished people and, you know, disabled people and all this stuff. I've done all that stuff, but then that becomes everything, and I get paid to do that, and I have nothing left from my artist side.
Right. Yeah.
And I think with this project, there's the possibility to flip it around. If we're going to say we want to build a community around Broken Cage, part of what I'd like to do is build the online community of Broken Cage and create the, I think they call it a DOA, a decentralized, autonomous organization. Is that right? A DAO? Have you heard about that?
I've seen it around, but not looked into it.
I was reading that today. Decentralized autonomous organization, which means that Broken Cage, we will always be the co-founders, and we will always get more votes, whatever. Maybe our vote is worth 50 votes or whatever. We set that up. The people who own NFTs will get a vote and will be able to also have some influence in how the community is structured, what direction it goes in. Me and you can decide what that will be. Do they maybe decide which songs I record on my album, or do they decide which album I should make next, or which city I should record in, or what the artwork should be for Capsize? There's all kinds of things. But in a broader sense, I also thought, well, if we're going to create community, I want to do something for my community here, my local community. The real people who live around the south side of Glasgow. So if you buy an NFT and you live in LA, and you buy a Broken Cage NFT, you will know that some of the money and profit that Broken Cage makes as an organization, some of that will be invested in the community project.
Yeah.
And the community project I would like to, my aim is to have my own recording studio. But when I have my own recording studio outside of the house, like a proper studio, I want to then use that studio for my own project, number one, and number two, for the community to come and learn and have opportunities and all that stuff. So I want to do what I was always doing with my life, but I just want to flip it on my head. I want to have my artist project, and I want to have my own studio, and I want to have all my aims and dreams. And then as soon as I have my dreams, I want to share them with my community. And that, with the old model of how I used to work, I was always upside down. I was doing everything for the community and very little time for myself, and I just couldn't make it work. It was on that. So that's my aim, you know. And so if you're in LA and you buy a Broken Cage NFT, you're going to help fund this project, this long-term 5-year goal, 10-year goal, whatever it is. Let's call it a 5-year goal. Why not? You know, something like that. And maybe in 5 years you're going to make it to Abbey Road. I mean, who knows? 5-year goal. Maybe it takes 8 years, but like, I want to have that side of things as well, because I think your idea to go to Abbey Road is a great idea. It's your dream. Let's put it out there and say it.
Yeah.
And then the fact is, whenever we mint Broken Cage and NFTs, we can bake that into the smart contract that some people, in the one of one, they're going to come into the studio and move the faders, you know?
Totally.
If you own that one, we'll see you there, you know?
Or someone just wants to sit there. Someone just wants to have a sleep. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm thinking about. And then when it comes to what we actually need to do in action with our project, I think we should try to. Okay, so there's the one side of it is I look at it like when I'm promoting CFX and everything. maybe I'm going to still do some like Web 2 stuff and all of that. But when I'm promoting my project, the backstory of who I am as an artist and where I came from comes from your photo book and everything, you know? It's like, I'm Chris, I'm VFX, and I did stuff as Chris Furnick. I used to live with Avert in the warehouse. Go and check out the photo book. This is my heritage. This is where I'm from. This is my story. And then, of course, hey, if you want to buy one of the photos from the photo book, go and buy one of Avert's NFTs, you know?
Yeah, and this is what we can gradually do, isn't it? Like I post my progress of the photo book. Oh, this is Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, this is Chris, blah, blah, blah. Here's the latest single or whatever, you know.
Yeah, or I can even put the photo with the link of your Spotify song that's currently on there. Yeah. Check out this song that he recorded.
Yeah. I mean, you can share news. Oh, by the way, that's Chris. He's doing an NFT drop, you know, in the summer with blah, blah, blah. Or if you want to see him play in Glasgow, you know, and then I can say, so we can do that for, I think at the moment we have the three-way thing. We've got like CFX, Avert Play 2 photo book, and then in the middle is Capside. So that we collaborate on that 50-50.
Yeah.
And then the thing to work out is, my friend Rory is a solicitor. He's a lawyer. But he specializes in intellectual property rights. That's what he wants to do. And I've not seen him for a couple of years, but he works in a law firm in Edinburgh. But his goal, his passion in life on the law side is intellectual property. And he's also with guitar. He's a cool guy. He's a lovely guy. So I think we should get him on board for Broken Cage, and he can take care of all of our smart contracts and all that stuff. So Rory can figure out how we give people limited, non-exclusive licenses to use our work when they own the NFT, and to let someone else do it on their behalf. But when they sell the NFT, they're no longer allowed to use our work on that, you know, that non-exclusive limited license is void, and like that's all legal stuff, and that's kind of beyond me. I understand it, but not enough. And I think Rory is the guy. So I think actually next meeting's agenda, I think actually Laura met some dollar Sid Ahmet contributor. Anyway, no, what I think is
action item.
I know. Let's hold on. Invite Rory to the next meeting.
Is he where? Is he? Have you talked to him about NFTs and stuff?
I'll do. I'll contact him and I'll have a little chat. But I think he has been wanting to collaborate with me for the last 2 or 3 years. And we had an idea to do a podcast, and then we had an idea back in the day, I recorded his guitar stuff, and he was even like helping me with my EP and things, and playing like a couple of my songs and things ages ago. And so he's a cool guy. He's like really enterprising. He's got law on his side, but he also loves music. So he would love. And I think what me and you would then need to think about as well is, like, if we get Rory to write all of our smart contracts or help us write them, what do we give Rory? Do we give him free NFTs? Do we say, oh, have one of the NFTs? Or do we give him, you know, do we pay him in NFTs? Or do we say, write into the contract that you take?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Like we can decide this is a percentage. Or we can obviously decide we have a payment, but then an extra is you get a percentage of that. That's your bonus.
Yeah.
It's technically bonus, I guess. Yeah, if you sort of if you think of
Yeah.
business wise, you need to pay the guy for the business, and the percentage is bonus. So if you're thinking of real world, yeah.
Yeah. Or the other way around, the percentage is payment, and then the NFT is a bonus. You say, hey, have one of the. Anyway, I don't know, but we have to figure that out.
I know what you mean, but the NFT and percentage is that's still the uncertain bit, isn't it? Yeah, and we're
Yeah,
it's
sure,
great.
yeah.
We're still in a world where we need to pay people. I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about it with him as well, because he may.
But he might be enthusiastic. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Then
he might be enthusiastic to come on board and work with us and just take the risk of doing the work and then taking the percentage. But yeah, well, we need to think about, me and you need to think about that too, because I'll talk to Rory. I'll see. I'll say Avert was keen to pay you in cash, and I was saying, well, maybe we could set up that you take some of the profit of the NFTs, blah, blah, blah. I'll maybe try and meet up with him and have a coffee, see how much he already knows about it and understands. We'll figure it out anyway. We'll figure it out.
Have that sort of discussion and then see where it leads. Yeah. So that he knows, like, they're not trying to sort of rip me off. It's sort of like, this is sort of, we thought about it. This is what we could do.
Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing is, like, if you pay somebody, they do a proper job and everybody's happy. So you pay someone money, £100, £200 for a full day's work, everybody's happy. And that's the way that the world should work. But then with this whole thing, there's also all these other opportunities, isn't there? So I'll say it to him, and I'll be able to tell from his response. The other thing I think we should think about as well is, so I'll just put this here. Oh, oops. What happened? There we go. What minute? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we should figure out how we pay Rory for his work. But the other thing is, I think me and you need to think about this for next time. So actually, it's really an action, which is to say, how are we going to structure payments in general? So, like, there are two basic ways of looking at it. We could say every NFT that Broken Cage sells, we split 50-50. So if I sell an NFT CFX, me and you split 50-50. So then if you sell one of my NFTs, whatever, just as they go. Or we could say, well, actually, Avert did all of the work for the photo book, so he should take a certain amount, but a certain amount maybe comes to me because of the amount I helped you to sell it and the company and set it up. And so we just need to think about how that works. And the other thing as well is, like, well, the ideal thing would be that we can actually set up Broken Cage as a proper company, and it can have its own bank account, and it can do its own tax and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, when we sell an NFT, of course, me and you would like to take some income from that. But of course, even more importantly, is Broken Cage should be turning over money so that we can invest money in future projects. So what is the financial model? Because of course, me and you would love to work towards the point where we can. I think what we should do is you take an NFT, you sell the things from the drop, money goes into, say, maybe there's a Broken Cage wallet, and then me and you can draw out of that wallet. No, that doesn't make sense, actually, but maybe it does. I don't know. That's another thing to, like, money should go to the company, and then we should just draw out salary from the company, and the company has money, and then the company spends on investing into the Abbey Road thing, you know. And or maybe we just decide to just leave all the money inside Broken Cage for 3 years, and then we just, when we have the money, we invest it. Or I don't know, you know.
Yeah. So basically, like what we're saying is, setups at the end of the day, we want to have smart contracts set up in place. So when we get this payment, you get that, I get that, bum 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 bum. That's sort of what you're saying. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying, actually, we need to think Avert gets this, Chris gets that, Broken Cage gets this.
Yeah, that's that. This project, and then, or you could say, from my money that goes to this project, and then from this
Yeah.
And
So I think we need to think that through, because as you say, as we build towards our first drop, we need to have already decided on the very first drop what's going in the smart contract to say, well, this goes to Ava, this goes to Chris, maybe this goes to Rory, and then what do we do about reinvesting? Do I just put all of that money in my wallet, and then I invest into the projects that are on my side of Broken Cage, and you just take the money into your wallet and you invest in Abbey Road, and you invest in, you know, and then of course if we work on Capsize together, you know, so we just need to think about that. We've got 2 weeks to just mull it over and work that, because you're right. Because the one thing about the smart contract, they're incredibly clever, but of course once it's written, that's it. You can't change a smart contract. The smart contract does that forever. So I'm thinking probably our first NFT drop will be your photo book. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking probably the first thing Broken Cage does is the photo book. And I'm happy to help you as much as I can with that. But then when we do that, we need to think carefully about deciding the right thing, so that if it doesn't do well, okay, but we have it decided. But if it suddenly does really well, you know, if people are trading these things for the next 20 years, we want to be sure that we've agreed properly. All that stuff.
No, I agree. Because I think, but then also the flip side is, this is the first of many. That's the aim as well. So yes, we try it out. So this is the first. Yes, okay. If we decide the photo book is the first one, it will be a trial. With the percentages, we're figuring it out. If it's not perfect, that we found it right, but at least we can sort of, okay, this money is doing that. We still need to figure out how the smart contract will work. So let's decide on a certain percentage, and then if it splits in a certain way, then great.
No, I agree. I think the thing I'm talking about is the safety feature for, like, just in case it does actually do really well. Because we should put that. But if it suddenly goes like huge, and then suddenly Evert's like, oh shit, I'm giving half of this to Chris, but that's all my work, or you know what I mean? Like, so we just need to think carefully about it.
Of course.
If it doesn't do so well, it's not much of a problem. But if it suddenly is like, oh my god, you know, there's lots of money involved, then let's just try and get it that we're happy for the first one, you know, and we thought about.
Like for me, it's like with the book, like, in the real world, like, well, realistic, I probably would sell, I don't know, 50-20. That's my sort of high aim, a hard copy book. But anything over, that's a bonus. So if we sell the NFT and it goes mental, then it's a bonus. So if it's 50%, it's like, that's 50% if it goes crazy, right? So so
sure,
that's how I
absolutely.
Yes, but you never know. I know you're concerned. We've seen all the bands, dilemmas, and disputes with
Yeah.
those. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's the problem. It's just if it's suddenly it's like, whoa, this is like.
Yeah.
But no, that's fine. We'll just think it through. I'm not trying to make it a big deal, but we just need to work out in our head what. You know, you're going to wake up on Tuesday and you're going to be like, oh, this is what we should do. That's all I mean, really. Yeah. And I think that's the other thing I was thinking about as well is what about I'll put this down here. So I'm also wondering about, and you know this better than me, but you know, in the old world, when you're a photographer, and you go around, you're a war photographer, and you take photos of the girl in where is it, Sarajevo or whatever, right? And then that becomes the most famous photo from the 1990s. And how does that work? How does the girl?
That's been on my mind as well, like how to do that, and especially when you're having NFT, and then suddenly this particular image goes mental, and then
yeah,
and then someone goes, "Hey, that's me in this photo." Yeah,
exactly. So then we maybe also should, you check it out, and then maybe it's a question for Rory as well once he's on board, you know. And the thing that props up like the top of my head is like if anyone is involved or is in the photos, even if you've lost contact with them, there's maybe a mechanism that they can contact us and say, look, that is me in the photo. And then there's a way of saying, okay, now that we know, you know what we're doing and you found us and you're in the photo, we're going to give you this percentage or something, you know?
Or we will already have that set up, like this percentage will go to as a
yeah exactly, something like that. Yeah, because I think that's the thing is like when we seen, was it Sophia Coppola? Is that who you were saying?
Yeah.
And she did the drop where it was photos from the film set.
Yeah,
making the movie
with her. Yeah, it's already a project that she started. So the people who were in it were already actors that was part of this project. So they know that they're in these photos. So they're actors.
That's what I was going to say, because it was one project with everyone in one place. She was able to like say, look, I'm going to do this, and you sign here. Yeah. She had their permission. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Whereas, of course, this is different because we're going back 10 or 15 years, and we've obviously lost touch to some of these people. So probably it's like we write the percentage into that person, into the contract, and then when they come forward and contact us, we say, okay, brilliant. I'm so happy to hear from you, and this is what we decided to do. Are you happy with this percentage? That kind of thing. Basically, the percentage is written, so we can't change that. But are you happy that we've written in 1% of this thing? And also, here, we'll come and have lunch or, whatever. But, it's like, at least we thought of that,
No, I agree.
Okay.
It's definitely been on my mind. It's like how. Yeah. It's like, it's definitely on my mind.
Well, we'll think about it. I'll try and get in touch with Rory, and then if he does actually make it the next one of these in 2 weeks, we can put it as a question for him. And yeah, I mean, that's obviously, it's 10:30. We don't want to do this forever. But last couple of things I'm thinking is capsize. You've got an action here, haven't you? Where is it?
At the top, page 2, new business.
What I Dreamt Away album, yeah. And we also had something here from where was the thing we talked about? Instagram. Yeah, here. And I said yes. So, oh yeah, action item. Ava, you're going to set up a Broken Cage Discord. Well, let's go in order. You're going to read that article, and then I'm going to actually set up a Coinbase and everything, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to put £20, and I'm going to start working all this stuff on my end with the wallet and the Coinbase and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually send me an invite. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. We'll get that done. You're going to set up the Discord. I'm going to set up Twitter. But then I think, okay, CF to set up IG account. Now I'm happy to do that. But in order to do that, we need profile picture.
Is this Broken Cage or Capsize?
Capsize, sorry, yeah, Capsize, sorry. I'm talking about Capsize now, that's my mistake, yeah. So I don't think we need a Broken Cage IG account just yet. Maybe we do one day. But in terms of Capsize, I'm just thinking about some of the ideas we had before, the idea of making it a music band project, and the idea of having, just to start with an IG page, we need a profile picture. We were looking at brand colors and stuff. We were talking about this stuff before, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then, then we need to start trying to build up the 4-bar loops and everything. So I'll set up the account. And then we also need, I think we maybe need one piece of looping video that we can use when we chopping it up to post our. So maybe I'll look into that as well. CF to video loops. I'll try and come up with something that we can use, and basically by next time we've got the account set up with a profile picture, a description, brand sort of colors and ideas, and then and some photos. I was thinking, so this is all Capsize stuff, but I was thinking ET to choose some photos for Capsize IG. So we're going to start the account and it's going to have like 6 photos, So it's just the beginning of a Capsize IG account.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, we'll have photos, profile picture, all that stuff. So if you're able to go and choose what 6 or 10 photos should be on there, I'll get in touch with you about what we need to use for the profile pic and that stuff. I'll do the video thing, and I'll actually set up the account.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sounds good, man. That's not too bad. That's 2 hours. 2 hours.
Oh. Does it say how recorded? No, it doesn't say how. No, not yet.
No, yeah, I suppose when I hit stuff it'll say. I was thinking, an hour and a half to 2 hours we should do. That's good. Otherwise, we just, going to get tired.
That's good.
But yeah, by next week we'll have like a whole lot more information. I'll have tried my Coinbase. We'll have some Broken Cage social media stuff set up, and then we'll have a little bit of a start with Capsize as well.
Oh yeah, where do I send your invite to? Which email would you want to use?
Oh yeah, well, email me at chris@brokencage no.io.
Okay.
And then, yeah, great. I mean, in the meantime, look, I'm also going to say CF. I think we should also do this. I think I'm going to try and set up Slack, because I think that would be good. Oops. I'm going to look into that as well, because I think that's a cool way for us to message each other during the week about Broken Cage. That's what I'm hearing, is people use that purely for work. So you don't have to WhatsApp me. You just go through Slack. And I mean, maybe there's maybe Google messages and stuff. But anyway, I'll look into that, because I think that's quite cool, that instead of tomorrow you send me a WhatsApp, I'll get it set up so we can have a purely Broken Cage channel on Slack where we can just do all this stuff. So I'll look into it. I'll see if it's worth it. But it sounds like a good idea to do, just to make things fast and keep your headspace in the right place, I mean, I think Google must be within this workspace. There's some kind of messaging thing or whatever, but I don't know. I'll check it out and I'll let you know. Just instant messaging that's away from all the other crap. Great. And then it's like, what's that say?
Can you use Slack on the phone, or is it web-based? No, web.
I wonder, is it only web-based? I think you can do the phone app as well, can't you?
Right.
Anyway, I'll look into it. I'll basically Chris to set up Slack.
Yes.
Look into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's an amazing amount of stuff. If we manage to get if we manage to get all of that stuff done in 2 weeks, that's huge progress, man. Because I think the idea would be then we end up having the capsize thing kind of rolling along just by going loop, and just try and get that whole thing just almost like it's automated, and then we work towards your photo book, and we work towards, in a backwards kind of a way, what day I dreamt away. And you said, shall we set up a project with Asana? So yeah, absolutely set up a project in Asana. Sorry, wait a minute. There we go. Oh. But my idea with that is we get the IG account, we get the loops going and the video and the photos, and we just get this stuff going with as much daily, just like here's capsize, bang, 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 bang. And then over time, we try and build some interest that way in it. And then after some time, we say, hey, actually, there's this song called Wet Ball Jumped Away from the Past. Check it out. And then we say, oh, actually, that song is part of a whole album. Check it out. And then we say, oh, actually, that whole album is now going to be like an NFT drop or whatever. And then in the meantime, these loops are going. And then it's like, oh, album number 2 is going to be from all this other stuff we were doing all the time anyway. And so that's kind of my pathway for that. So, yes, set up the Asana and speak to you next time.
Cool.
Awesome. Very good.
That's good.
What did we miss? There's a lot there, isn't there? That's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start. I think, yeah, no, I agree. I think what you said earlier is like, yeah, the idea of working together it's helpful, you know, like, 'cause, yeah,
Yeah.
we have a lot of ideas and projects in our head, and working together is helpful, and that's what I always saw with bands and groups, and like,
Yeah.
it works when you work together in a team. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. And what's cool about this is we can still have your own project, solo thing that you're kind of doing, and then we've got a collaborative thing, and then now we have the umbrella thing, and that just suits me perfectly. Because when I'm getting stuck with my stuff, I can come on the phone to you, and in the demo, and I can say, look, I've done this thing, but I'm stuck with it, and you can just say, hey, just change the chorus. It's like, oh, great, But then with Capsize or something, it's really 50-50, and that's also a lot of fun. And then hopefully we'll grow through the community that we build up, and people who own NFTs to actually collaborate with other artists, all of that stuff as well. And plus all the wealth of videos and songs we have from the past. The sort of idea of making this short film with Kyle and where that goes, maybe collaborating with Ed, and keeping that on the back burner for now. And then the idea of, the Fleetwood Whack, that whole thing that becomes the Abbey Road project. And then if people are happy with permissions, that we can maybe use some of those videos we made to talk about Broken Cage and what Broken Cage is doing. If they're happy, then we also have that. So we have all this stuff that's already done, all this media and film and audio that can just all come together now. Like it's great for me because I couldn't see that before I heard of NFTs. I was just like, it looked like it was too many things, but now it's like all those things are feeding in and pulling in the same direction. So very good, very happy.
Nice.
Good.
Good.
And thank you very much for doing the notes. That's brilliant. Love that.
Yeah, perfect.
And we didn't need our little whiteboard at all, so that's okay. But still, and in the end, I think this idea of investing back in what we're doing and investing in the future projects and always on the workflow and everything, I think it's going to be really good. Right?
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think that's definitely the way forward. I sort of the other people doing it as well. Like, been following this rapper RJ Payne. Been listening to more of his songs, and he's sort of been doing that. And
and so the other thing is like this whole. I was learning about the Agile Scrum thing, and of course we've got all the Asana boards and everything. So we need to, over the next 2 weeks, we need to work out what's going into Asana and how all that's going to look, and keep refining all of that. I'm going to try and move over all my Chris Furness stuff into the Broken Cage Asana board, so it's all in one place for me to just go there to work. And then the idea now is that we call this meeting a demo, because this one is the first one, but next time in 2 weeks we'll go back and we go through all the action items, and you've got basically we should be able to go through and say, oh, I read the article, here's what I learned. Cool. I set up my wallet, here it is, you can have a look at it, or I've invited you. I set up the Discord, here's the link. I set up the Twitter, so we just be able to go through all of these things and say, here is the deliverable, there's the link, there's the account on Capsize, go and have a look at it, blah, blah, blah. So that's the idea, is that each of these things should end up with something physical or in the web, like a link or something that you can actually click on, And then the other thing is they've got this thing called flags and blockers. And a blocker is when you get in touch with me, you say, "Oh, Chris, you're blocking me on this task." Maybe I would get in touch with you and say, "Hey, Ava, you're blocking me on Capsize account because you still haven't sent me the photos." So like at some point I'm going to be like, "Well, I can't do that until So we'll get used to that whole system. But it's cool because it's a way to just be like boom, 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 and don't wait on anything for. You're like, "Oh, I've been here all afternoon and I had free time and I wanted to do this." Just get in touch with Chris. Say, "Hey, I can't do this until you do X, Y, Z," and hopefully that way we'll just be able to fire through all of the tasks. Awesome. Brilliant. Nice one. All right. And then we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Let's
pencil that in the diary. Let's do that now.
Okay. So where's the calendar? How do we do this? If I go here, bring up the calendar. So if you just go into your workspace, I clicked the wrong thing. Go to the apps, go to the calendar.
Oh, it's already in there. We put it as repeat.
Perfect.
It's already automated. We're so advanced.
Well, that's brilliant. And then all you have to do is you just click on it you just go there and click on it. Man, it's all this happening.
We're ahead of ourselves.
Welcome to the metaverse. Oh yeah, okay. So that's one thing actually, just for the next meeting, and then in the agenda for next meeting, let's talk metaverse.
Yeah.
That's the whole other side of it. Is to go on.
Doing cool stuff actually. She's building a game, and it's like wow, and she can convert that into the metaverse. She's not even thinking about it, but it's like, wait a minute, you're building a 3D game. Like, wow.
So who's doing that? Sorry,
Bettina.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because she's been exploring in 3D modeling. It's like for her theater design. But she's
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you sent me the link, but then I think I was looking at it thinking she's working with this person to do this project, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah. Wow. Right. I'll go back and check it out again. Yeah, that's brilliant because that's perfect. She can buy a plot of land somewhere in a metaverse and put her show, walk through.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. The thing I sent you, I don't remember the name of it, but the idea there is that maybe if we act on it quite quickly, we might be able to buy a plot of land in I think it's the metaverse in Transylvania, and that it actually corresponds with a real country. But it's an area of land between Czech Republic and Slovakia, which is not claimed by anyone. And this guy has gone and claimed it and called it. He's given it some name, nation, whatever it is.
He has the land and he divides it into.
Yeah, he's kind of put his flag in it, and he said this is a new nation, and this new nation is going to be. We're going to design it in the metaverse. So, and then everything that's in the metaverse, they're going to put it into the real.
Yeah.
But of course, then the architects have done stuff that couldn't exist in real life, like floating and stuff. But they're going to then do their best to actually recreate that. And she's designed a whole city, and the city's in the metaverse already, or it is a metaverse already. But then they will actually build the city as close as they can get in real life. And I think that's all really quite new. And I think they're already selling off plots of land in the metaverse. And so I'm thinking like Broken Cage should have a shop in the metaverse.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So we have a record store, but it's in, and maybe it's in this particular nation, whatever. I'll look at it more. And that is, because then everything that we're doing already with Broken Cage, we then have a shop. Perhaps Bettina would be willing to help us design the shop, and you can come in and you can look at the Capsize record, or you can go and watch a live gig where we're actually playing the Capsize, because that'll just be on in the next room, or you can go through and sit down and watch the documentary in the cinema inside the shop that we have inside the metaverse, or whatever, And then, of course, when you're inside Broken Cage shop, you can look at the next drop that's coming, and you can do pre-sale, or we need to talk about that more as well next time, pre-sales and whitelists and all that kind of stuff, because that's part of all the mechanisms of, if you drop by the Broken Cage shop in the metaverse, and then you can maybe just sign yourself up for the pre-sale, whatever.
So definitely. Indeed. So because talking about Bettina, because me and Bettina has that other project of me with her songs, so that is also the pipeline. So that could also fall under the umbrella. There's another cool thing.
Absolutely, yeah. If you guys want to do a Broken Cage thing with that, then it's fantastic. Yeah,
because we were thinking about it, because she has a few videos ready, but still under her artist's page. So I'm thinking, like, man, we should create an NFT of these videos, because they're proper art videos, And then she even a few years ago she did a 3D photo of the character. So she went to a 3D booth. So she has a 3D model of herself as the character.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's just like, cool. Wait a minute, just download this 3D model onto the metaverse, and then
yeah, she's already there. She's already inside the metaverse. Amazing. That's cool. And then because then you think about it and you think, well, if we could buy quite a lot of land somewhere on the outskirts of the metaverse or whatever, could we sell off plots? Could we sublet? Could we then sell off some of what we own, so that you could put your dub reggae sound system into the Broken Cage shop? So if you own one of the NFTs, you can set up your own sound system, and we'll have it in the shop. And so you come to Broken Cage, you can do all the stuff we just described, but you can also pop over. Here's these guys, they've got their sound system. You open the door and you're on the beach, and it's like maybe that's the other thing, is the community itself could have space in the shop. So we have, you know what I'm saying? So we have here's the What Day I Dreamt Away experience, and here's Bettina 3D character doing the choreography for the dance for the single, and here's the whatever, the film, go and sit in the cinema and watch the film. But then, come over here, these guys are making t-shirt, Broken Cage, I don't know what, here's the Broken Cage circus tent, and these guys are in charge, and just go over there. But it's housed all within our kind of plot. It's within the shop, that kind of thing. So then you just end up in a situation where actually it is automated, because although me and you are the founders, actually the community just starts going, we want it, we want this, we want that. Okay, brilliant, that sounds good. We'll have that in our shop. You know what I mean? So that's the whole beauty of it, isn't it? And
totally,
as founders, we should be encouraging that. Yeah. Nice.
Indeed. Anything else that we missed?
I think that's it, bro. I think that's it.
I have to ask a question. Cool. Yeah, let's close the meeting for today.
Over now. Let's see what happens with this record. So how do I stop recording?
Your video call is being recording. It will be saved in the meeting recordings, blah, blah, blah. Stop recording.